Welcome to the Human Chapter, where every heartbeat tells a story. We bring you cinematic spoken-word tales that capture real human emotions: love, loss, struggle, and resilience. Each episode reveals a chapter of what makes us human, from quiet moments of pain to powerful acts of courage. Subscribe to join a growing community, narrated with heart, inspired by life, because every soul has a story.
Smells like Sunday coffee and old dreams. Inside a tiny apartment on the east side, a woman moves quietly through her kitchen, as if afraid to wake the weight of her own thoughts. Her name was Ruth. And this was her last Sunday before everything changed. Ruth pours coffee into a chipped white mug, the same one she's used for 7 years. She hums along with the radio, not because she feels like singing, but because silence can be louder than hunger. Her daughter, Ella, draws a picture at the kitchen table. A big yellow house with flowers that never fade. Her son, James, reads from a library book so worn it looks older than his mother's hope. To anyone else, it's just another morning. But to Ruth, it's proof that love can live on borrowed time. "One more Sunday, Lord," she whispers. "Just one more good Sunday." That afternoon the sunlight poured through the window, like gold dust over tired dreams. Ruth gathered her children close. She could feel their hearts. Tiny, strong, unbroken. Ruth, softly motherly. "One day we won't live like this. You'll have your own rooms, your own books, and you'll never go to bed hungry again." James, innocent. "When, Mama?" Ruth, gentle smile. "When the world remembers that good people still deserve good days." A promise was born, not written in ink, but carved into the heart of a mother who refused to give up. Outside the world spun fast. Cars, noise, city heat, and people chasing something they couldn't name. Los Angeles was beautiful, but for folks like Ruth, beauty didn't always mean belonging. She worked 6 days a week at a small diner, serving smiles she could barely afford. But every evening, she came home to laughter. Not the kind you hear, the kind you feel deep inside your ribs. Ruth didn't have much, but she had something many had lost: hope that tomorrow could be kind. Then came Friday. The diner cut hours. Tips dropped. Bills didn't. That night Ruth sat by the window. Long after the kids fell asleep. The city hummed outside like an old radio. Out of tune but still playing. On the table, a notebook filled with dreams. Some crossed out. Some rewritten. She looked at those words. School for Ella. Piano for James. House with garden. Sunday dinners again. Her voice cracked in the dark. "You can't quit now, Ruth. They're counting on you." And so she didn't. The next morning, Ruth opened her door and found an envelope. No name. No message. Just a note. For a mother who still believes. Inside, 2 grocery vouchers and a bus pass. Her hands shook again. But this time, from gratitude. She didn't ask where it came from. Sometimes faith doesn't come with answers. Only timing. That night she cooked a full meal. Rice. Beans. A slice of joy on the side. And for the first time in a long while, the walls of that apartment felt like home. Weeks passed, and though money stayed tight, the promise in Ruth's heart stayed stronger. She wrote a letter one evening, folded it carefully, slipped it into a worn shoebox under her bed. Her words were simple. "Ruth," softly, "if you ever forget what strength looks like, remember this home. Remember how we made something out of almost nothing. Love isn't measured by what we have, but by what we give." The letter was never meant to be found soon. It was her legacy, a quiet echo of everything she stood for. Years later, Ella tells this story to her own children. She still remembers the smell of coffee, the hum of gospel on that tiny radio, the way her mother smiled, even when the world forgot to. And every Sunday, he makes the same meal: rice, beans, and laughter. Because that was the day her mama made her promise. And somehow, the world kept it. Faith doesn't always change the world overnight, but it can change the heart that faces it. Every story leaves a mark. Every voice carries truth. And every soul has a story. This was the Human Chapter. Thank you for listening.